Hey, super excited to have our next guest on the show. Just got her at the right time. In from Australia, mixed martial artist, UFC strawweight contender, Bec Rawlings, live in-house here. Welcome to the Action Sports Show.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's our pleasure. And so you're not living here in San Diego. You're just visiting here for a short time? Or
Yeah, I've traveled back and forth for the past year or so, just doing my training camps out here. So I'm always on the plane back and forth. But, yeah, I've been out here for 2 weeks. So I'm out here for another 2 weeks. And then I fly back home to spend some time with the boys over the holidays.
And there's been some mixed martial arts going on back home over the weekend, so I hear.
Yes, I came out here to train and missed the show. Everyone was hitting me up like, why aren't you here?
Like you would have been there if you were home, right?
Yeah, I would have been there, but I'm like, I've got people to bash.
Right.
I've got to train.
You're on your own program.
Exactly.
And you're training with our buddies here at Alliance?
Yeah.
Dominic and our guys?
Yeah, I'm actually, I train out at Alliance with Dominic and Coach Eric Delfier and, a whole bunch of awesome team.
Really excited for Dominic, by the way. I know it's a sidebar, but man.
There's a lot of serious training going on for all you folks, and
Why?
Dominic's got his big thing coming up.
What is it? Tell us.
Jeremy's got his big fight coming up here
Yes.
soon in Vegas, too, on McGregor card. But, Dominic Cruz and TJ Dillashaw, January, I think it's 19th in Boston?
Yes, that's correct.
Wow, I remember the date.
In Baston, where your family is.
Yep.
Maybe you'll be there.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? So how does that work for you? Because you're traveling back and forth, coming all the way to California. I mean, that's what, a 15-hour flight. Are there just better gyms here than where you live, or?
Yeah, it's world-class training out here, world-class coaches and the best training partners also. So, the United States is like the mecca of mixed martial arts. So
Mecca.
Mecca.
I love it.
The best training is out here. You know, all my opponents, most of them are from the United States, so they're getting the best training there is. You know, some Australian fighters stay in Australia and have built their little teams up and are doing well, but I feel like I need to be at Alliance where I just fit right there. So, and you can just tell from my earlier fights to now how much I've improved just from being at Alliance for a year here and there. You know, I'm not spending a year the whole time. I'm back and forth every few months. So, and I've already improved and evolved as a fighter.
Can they come to you? Because it seems like that jet lag for you as a professional athlete would just really start taking its toll. Can they come to you in Australia?
No, it's a huge gym, and we've got just a huge team, and it's worth traveling and getting the jet lag for. You know, eventually I'd like to move here and come with my boys so I don't have to leave them all the time.
Right.
That's the hardest thing. I don't care about a plane ride. It's more just leaving my two boys in Australia and, you know, trying to juggle mum and being a fighter at the same time.
How do you do that?
Yeah, I want to get into that. But what's one of the things that, you know, it's not just about the training. It's because this is UFC. It's also about the publicity. So coming to California has got to be a publicity component that is valuable to you for that too. Because for people to want to, those people that do the fight card, they want someone that has some publicity, right? Mm-hmm. And by coming over here, is that helping? Is that part of the strategy?
It's not really part of the strategy. I feel like a lot of people are interested in me because of my crazy personality, and I feel like everyone loves Australians.
You seem really conservative to me. I don't know what they're talking about.
Totally conservative. But yeah, obviously, it's a big thing for me to be traveling back and forth, and I feel like it kind of shows that I'm taking this seriously, and I'm trying to get the best training and really do the best thing for my career.
Like, I look at her and I think she could, stunt double for Pink. Just to describe it for people that are out there. What do you think?
It's funny you say that. I had someone come up to me in LA and ask me for my autograph. And I thought that he thought he watched The Ultimate Fighter, or, I don't know, he followed fighting. And I'm like, and I was with a bunch of other fighters. I'm like, sure, do you want, anyone else's? And he's like, you're Pink, right? And I'm like, I've looked at him and
yes,
everyone just started laughing. I couldn't do it. I'm like, no. And he kind of just walked off in shame, and I'm like, oh, okay. But I guess it was because I was in LA and I had the blonde hair, but I'm covered in tattoos. So
Which I don't know if Pink has a bunch on her arms and stuff.
I don't think she does have that many.
Yeah.
I don't think she has a neck tattoo.
No, this one's new.
That's new. When did you get that?
I got that one last month, actually.
So you got that right on your voice box. I mean, doesn't... Ouch.
It hurt.
I can't even imagine.
Not only is it a tattoo, it's like filled in blood red all throughout there. They're like, that's... That's
the color hurts.
Pain.
Yeah, it did hurt, and the color hurt the most. Yeah. So,
how long did it take?
It was 2 sessions. I think like 3-4 hours all up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm imagining a needle near my... Did that scare you?
Well, for the color, it's like 7 needles.
Yeah, you got to find your happy place. Yeah.
Okay.
I find my happy place a lot with tattoos and in training.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Wow. Well, speaking of training, so my question for you, I'll be totally honest, I don't know a lot about UFC. How do you, before a fight, get yourself so pumped up to go bash in someone else's face? You know, and I know it's your job, but how do you get so excited and pumped up to go do that?
Well, I guess everyone's different. They have a different way of getting into like fight mode. But you know, when I come over here for my training camps, the minute I touch ground, I'm in fight mode. I'm ready to, eat. I always say I'm going to eat someone's face off, but that's literally
I'm going to scoot back
my
just
mindset.
a little bit here. Wow.
And so, I manage, I'm very good at switching off emotionally. So I can just detach and just focus on what's in sight. And that's, someone standing across from me wanting to kill me before I kill them pretty much in my mind. So, I'm in fight mode for 8 weeks out from a fight.
Is that exhausting?
No, it keeps me focused.
Wow.
It makes it easier because if you're thinking of candy and rainbows and you're trying to train, you're not really in the zone and trying to stay focused. So I try to always when I'm in camp just stay focused on the task at hand, and that's getting ready to fight someone.
So do you feel like you're going into survival mode?
It's a little bit of survival, but it's I don't like the mindset of I have to survive. I like the mindset of I have to terminate you.
I love it.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
No, that's amazing. But it's such a, for your line of business, it's so positive. It's such a positive way of thinking rather than negative. Like I just asked, are you going to survive? No, I'm
defensive.
So what do you visualize? Do you have that whole Waterboy moment where you visualize someone making fun of you or whatever?
That's funny because my coach laughs because he's like a mastermind, and he tries to figure out, because everybody has their different things that sets them off and different things that makes them fight better or perform better. Some people have to be like clear-minded and happy and just going in there, I don't know, just thinking about the fight, whereas some people fight better emotionally. And he figured out that I fight way better emotionally. So it was one training session and I was so tired. You just get so drained. And I turned my back to him and he shoved me from behind, and I just snapped, and I was literally crying as I was hitting the pads, like, no, like hitting the pads. And at the end he's like, I figured it out. I just have to make you cry every training session. That was the best time I've ever seen you hit pads. So, so that's his little, his gimmick is to make me very upset. But I fight better that way.
It's not uncommon. It's a conversation I've had with a lot of people about, dealing with racers or dealing with athletes. Like, do I need to basically piss you off right now in order to help you perform? Like, what do I need to do?
Like right now?
Do I need to slap you around on the starting line? Do I need to build you up and make you think you're the greatest thing in the world? Do I need to, whatever it is, the people around you want to know because they want to help you perform at your best. And everybody has that
it's different
thing
for everybody.
That's going to really put them in the zone that they need to be in to succeed. It's super important to find that.
Yeah, I'm glad that we figured it out.
Like with Lorette, we have to palm her and feed her grapes before she goes on the air so that she's in the zone.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Were we supposed to mention that?
Yes. It's in my contract.
It is.
With Chris, we have to pretend he's a real cop.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
Jim, we have to ignore the mustache.
We talked about the mustache last week.
It's only here for
think he got
another week or
upset.
so. I can't wait till it
He got
goes
bumped.
off. But
How did you start fighting? What was the moment where you just thought, you know what, this is my path. This is where I need to go.
Well, originally I actually just got into the sport just trying to lose weight after I had my eldest son. And that's where I was just doing like a cardio kickboxing class, and I saw the mixed martial arts going on after my class. And I'm like, I want to try that. I want to, what it's like to hurt, break someone's arm or something. Yeah, not the normal train of thought for a girl, but it intrigued me. So, yeah, I went and tried out one of their classes, and I loved it, and I kept going back every day and training every day and got pretty good at it. And that's when the coaches actually came to me and asked me if I was interested in fighting. It never really crossed my mind. I looked at them like, I'm that good, like I'm good enough to fight.
Yeah.
And that's how I really got into it. They offered me if I wanted to get a fight, and I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Wow. So who was the first person that punched you in the nose, and what was that experience like? Because I would imagine that was a little bit shocking.
Yeah, it was like a kickboxing class, and it was a boxer. I remember actually he was he was 16. I was 20, 21 at the time. And he jabbed me straight in the nose. And I remember like the class before that was what do you do to a boxer? And what you do to a boxer is you kick them. So I kicked him in the head.
Nice.
He didn't like it very much.
Well, I'm sure you didn't like being punched in the nose.
Ronda
either,
should have went to
so-
that class.
Well,
Oh,
Wow.
too soon.
is it though? I don't know.
Well, I'm reading into some of your bio that we got here, and you've obviously had an incredible journey in life already so far, and you've mentioned them a couple times, but you have 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and what's their names, age? Tell me about the
Ensign
boys.
is my youngest. He actually turns 5 in a month.
Okay.
And Zake is my eldest, and he's 8.
All right. And what's their personality like? Are they little scrappers with mom? Are they
They are
different
polar
personalities?
opposites. Zake is like the lover and nurturer, like just the carer. Like he'll walk up to me and be like, "Mum, you're so beautiful." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you, Zake." And then Ensign would be the one that's like throwing a ball at my head.
Kick you in the shin.
Yeah, kick me in the shin and run off. So.
That's great. That's great. Well, I want to get into some of this journey that is behind this incredible young fighting lady right here. The look, the style, the attitude. But man, you've been through fire already.
Yeah, it seems that way.
It seems that way.
Can't catch a break.
Well, it's often that fire that defines who we become, and you've obviously come out on the other side of it much stronger. But it's a deep subject here, but talk about some domestic abuse that you went through, and then do you fight with that? Is that motivate you at all? Are you is there that pent up aggression to just kind of state that you are past that? Always a factor?
Yeah,
can't
it's definitely
imagine it ever leaves you.
It's definitely been a part of why I fight and why I fight the way I do. So yeah, it's definitely a part of it. To begin with, when I was training and my first few fights, I was actually caught up in the relationship, and it was more of my escape.
Right.
I would go to the gym, and that's where I'd get a break. And then after we separated, and it became very public, and I was getting beat down by the public on social media and things like that because he obviously spun it around and said I'm a liar. As all abusers do. So it kind of turned into, it was almost like my motivation. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight and I'm going to win and prove, to all these people that I'm not a worthless person that they seem to think I was.
Right. Wow. I'm sorry you went through that. But it just blows my mind that happens. And, you're really open about it in your bio here. And I just want to applaud you because I think there are a lot of people going through stuff like that, and they need people to be open about it to show the path past it, that there is a path past it, because it seems like such a trap when you're in it.
Definitely. I feel like a lot of people, like even me to begin with, was, I was embarrassed, ashamed of it almost, and I was very...
And that's part of the trap.
It is, because they make you feel like it's your fault.
Sure.
And, like I've had these conversations with a few close people about, while it's happening, he would sit down and be like, why are you making me do this? Why are you making me do this? I don't want to do this. And in my head, I'd stop and think and go, hang on, like, am I making him do this? What am I doing to make him do this? And every day it'd be a repeat, I'd wake up and be like, okay, what can I do to not end up here again today?
Which seems like common sense, but is actually a path right back into the same.
Absolutely. It's how they keep you because they make you feel like it's your fault and that you're doing it. It's definitely was very hard to speak out about it. Even to this day, like, I know I've helped a lot of people get out of abusive relationships, or, even just speak up about it. But, even to this day, sometimes I wish I never really spoke out about it, because I weigh up the pros and the cons. Now people feel like they're entitled to know everything about my personal life because I've opened up about this part. And then obviously the other people that are saying, no, you're a liar, which kind of enables him to still abuse me in a way, because I still to this day have
white noise. Shut him out.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of, it's I don't know if I could take it back. I don't know if I would, but I just try to think of the positive and have the people that have reached out to me and said that I've helped them, move on in life and do better.
Well, I can only assume that you still have to deal with them also if there's some kids involved.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that was going to go away either way. But I do want to, give you kudos for being a voice to help others.
Thank you.
And that's not easy either. That's tough, like you're saying. Sometimes questionably worth it tough.
And getting the courage to just, make the change and go.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing that
How hard was that? I mean, thinking about that till you finally got the nerve to do it's probably a long time.
It's actually really scary to think that eventually I left because I was scared for my children's safety, not for my own.
Not yours.
And it's scary to think that if I didn't have them, if I would, still be there or if I'd be dead. It's pretty messed up that I was willing to be hurt and tortured and whatnot, and it took for my children's safety to be, in jeopardy, that I actually stood up and left. So, yeah.
Wow. Really, you're an amazingly strong, wonderful woman, and again, to be able to put this story out, to be, that open about it. I applaud you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I know you don't want to live there, so let's
no.
Yeah.
Well,
we're proud of you, but let's get back to some fighting.
Well, we do have to actually go to break right now.
After
we got
break.
all kinds of stuff to ask her about. And I also want to get into, we touched on it a little bit, the big fight that went on in your homeland, Ronda and Holly and Joanna, Valerie, all the kind of stuff, and where the women's sport is. And I got a personal message for you from another friend of ours, too, when we come back. Folks, the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports. We'll be right back.
Rock your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do? The one name you should know, the best place you can go, Toyota of Escondido.
It's true. The best new cars make the best used cars. And Toyota of Escondido is once again #1 in Toyota certified used cars and trucks. Feel confident driving with the peace of mind of a 160-point inspection and Carfax report.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
You also get a 12-month or 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty from certified purchase date. Plus, a 7-year or 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty from original date of sale when new. Please ask for complete warranty details.
Toyota of
Toyota certified sales leader for San Diego County for 2014.
Hi folks, Jim here, and I want to talk to you about Slime Tire Sealant. Racers in all classes of motorcycles, ATV, bugs, cars, trucks are using Slime Tire Sealant to prevent flats, including pre-runners. Smart teams are even using slime inside their trailer tires too. I mean, how many tires do you have? Think about it. Do you have motorcycles, ATVs, cars, trucks, trailers, wheelbarrows, mowers, and bikes? How many flats have you had in the last year? Maybe the answer is none. Maybe you're due for one. How much time and money can flat tires cost you? How about just the peace of mind? Nobody likes flat tires at all. Just pre-install Slime Tire Sealant to prevent flat tires. Slime is a liquid tire sealant that easily installs after taking out the valve core of the tire with the tool provided. Once inside, slime seeks out and seals punctures instantly and repeatedly and is guaranteed for 2 years. Slime is non-toxic, non-combustible, water-soluble, and does not void tires' warranties, unlike that other stuff in the can. Go for Slime in the Gallon for all your off-road tires. If it isn't green, it isn't slime. Put trust in your tires. Slime, there's no stopping you.
I'm Dominic Cruz, UFC bantamweight contender, and you're listening to the Action Sports Show.
You're on, guys.
I don't even want to come back. I just want to rock out.
Nice.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports. Jim Holtis, Dan McGranahan, Lorette Nickel, the one and only in-house here, and we're talking to our awesome guest, Bec Rawlings here, and I got a personal message from our good buddy of the show, Jessica Penne, told me to tell you, meow. I don't know what it means. She didn't say to just say the word. She didn't say I had to act it out like that, but she didn't say I couldn't. So I had to put a little in there. So.
Oh, dear. Yeah, she was a cat for Halloween, and she was, like, meowing at everyone. And then she, because we hit it pretty hard Halloween.
Nice.
And she had to catch a flight the next day to do the UFC Fighter Summit. And so she was in Vegas, and one of my friends, Brian Ortega, was there, and I was Snapchatting him, and I told him, "Oh, my friend's there. You should say hello to her. She's probably, bored out of her brains." And he's like, yeah, we're out for dinner now. I can see her. And I'm like, "Can you just meow at her, please?" And he's like, "What? I'm not going to meow at some random girl." And I'm like, "Do it. You have to do it." And he finally meowed at her, and she just lost it. So now it's our
She's like, "Tell her that." I'm like, "Well, I'm doing it on the show, just so you know." So we invited her to come up and check out the show, but she's leaving for Mexico, I guess, tomorrow morning to UFC fight. But she's awesome. So anyways, meow.
Meow.
So let's dig into it. Okay. The shot heard around the world. It happened this last weekend. Ronda Rousey gets defeated for the first time ever by the hands of Holly Holm. What's your reaction?
Were you surprised?
By the foot of Holly Holm.
Well, the hands had a little bit to do with it.
They did. I was surprised, actually. I was backing Ronda. I thought Ronda was just going to do a general thing where she comes in, gets the clinch, takes her down, and armbars her. But obviously, I don't know if it was her game plan to run at her the way that she did and charge in at her. Holly was obviously ready for it and used her footwork and angles and clocked her with the left hand a few times, which, kind of, I was saying before to Bryce, when you get rocked and get hit, it just drains all of the energy out of you. You could be fit, ready to go 5 rounds, and as soon as you get rocked, you just feel like you've got no energy. So I feel like the left hand's taxed her. And
from a southpaw stance too. Mm-hmm. I mean, was she prepared for that? I assume.
Yeah,
she knew she was left-handed.
Yeah, I guess you study your opponent. That's the thing. So I'm sure she would have known that. But I think, I don't know what her game plan was. I don't know if she got in there and emotions got the better of her, and her game plan went out the window, and she just decided to charge at her or not. But it obviously wasn't the best.
Even when she got in the one time, it went to the ground. Mm-hmm. Holly was able to get out of it.
Yeah, Holly did really well. Holly's a awesome fighter and a really good athlete as well. So you can tell that Holly really studied her, and that she's just very smart. She keeps her cool. Even at the weigh-ins, she was so cool, calm, and collected when it was hectic. Yeah. And she just stood there like Stone Cold Killer. So she kept her head in the fight, and it proved to work. And I think, she's an amazing champion.
What did you learn from watching that fight, if anything?
I guess that footwork and angles are superior. Just the way that Holly moved and stayed light on her feet, and she was able to cut those angles, and pretty much, Ronda fell on her knee and nearly headbutted the cage at one point, which I've done in my fights before. I've headbutted the cage a few times because I'm running at my opponent like a moron. So pretty much, pretty much, and I get a little over excited, but so pretty much I learned that footwork is everything.
I know you're in a different class than Ronda, but would you ever get an opportunity to fight either Ronda or Holly?
No, they're monsters compared to me.
Okay.
They're huge. I actually trained with Ronda, and she at that point I was a little bit bigger because I just finished The Ultimate Fighter and liked eating cake at that point.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she's definitely a very very muscly and much bigger than me. She's I cut, almost 15 to 20 pounds to make straw weight, and these girls are doing that to make bantamweight. So they're a lot bigger. I walk around about what they.
She looked way skinny at the weigh, and she seemed kind of spacey to me, like from losing all that weight, of course, before the fight or whatever. Just, I don't know. She looked and seemed weird to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, the weigh-in kind of threw me off. Also, I've never seen her. Kind of, lose her shit like that.
Yeah.
She's always the cool, calm, and collected one as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little bit odd to me. I feel like she was just super emotional for some reason. I don't know if it was because she tried to punk Holly and Holly just didn't care.
Right.
And she wasn't expected for that reaction. But yeah, it was definitely a bizarre weigh-in. I was like, that's, there's something odd about this whole thing, because she was
weird.
almost like crying because she was so frustrated.
Like jumbling sentences, like talking funny and stuff.
Yeah, when you cut a lot of weight, you're obviously very delirious.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not fun trying to string a sentence together when you haven't eaten in 2 days and dehydrated yourself. So yeah, I don't know. It was very odd.
How much weight did she have to lose?
I'm not sure how much she cuts.
86 pounds.
Stop.
I mean, I'm kidding.
She probably cuts, I don't know, anywhere between 15 and 20 pounds in water
Wow.
in a week. So
Holy smokes.
yeah.
Now, where do you think this leaves everything now? Everyone's talking immediate rematch. Of course, you've got Misha in the wings, Kat, Cyborg. There's been talk about that whole deal being put together there, too. Where do you think that leaves this now? If you're the UFC, do you necessarily want that rematch right away? Because if she gets beat again right away, that quick, it's the same kind of thing as why they don't want Misha to fight now. We've already seen that twice. If you lose 3 times, you're probably going to be gone for a while.
I think it's actually opened up a lot of opportunities and excitement within that division, because Ronda was like, the front runner of it and seemed invincible, and now there's all these matchup possibilities. I feel like an immediate rematch, like obviously they give it to the champion that's just lost. Like it's just out of respect, but I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't think she maybe wants to right now either.
I think she
know.
deserves a break. She's been fighting back to back for the past year. Like she's one of the most.
And she mentioned a break.
Yeah, before
the
fight.
The whole deal that she was going to relax for a while.
Yeah. So I think she'll be back, but I don't think she should go for an immediate rematch.
But if it's going to take too long, we need excitement and top-level fights going on.
Let Holly fight Misha. Let Holly fight Cyborg. Let's let some fights that we wouldn't let happen with Ronda possibly go down. And let Holly prove herself as a super champion, and then let the 2 super champions duke it out. Around UFC 200, which is around when Ronda said she'd like to come back. Then you've got the makings of a super meet, and I think that if they're comfortable, they'll play their cards like that. I think if Ronda comes back too quick, she really would be running the risk of losing again, and so much would be on the line if she did do that. The one thing I like though from Holly's perspective is now Holly holds some cards. So instead of going in and going, okay, well, I'm going to make $100,000 for this, and Ronda's going to make $6 million, she can go in and say, I'm going to get paid too. You want to fight me? You want me to show up? I'm going to have to get paid. There can't be this, Ronda makes a, truckload of money, and I make a, just a.
Well, and Misha's been talking about that too. The separation from 1 and 2, from millions to pennies on the dollar. Mm-hmm. And
I'm not saying that Ronda won't still make more, but Holly's in a position where she can say, oh well, if you want the fight, then you're going to have to pay me for it.
I think it's great for the sport, though. I mean, what Ronda's done for the sport, and in specific, the female athletes. Mm-hmm. Now with this happening, I think it's exciting. Now there's a chance, like that invincibility is gone. It's kind of like Tyson getting knocked out by Douglas. It's like,
how about Holm Cyborg? Holm doesn't look like she'd be scared of Cyborg. She's bigger and
I
tall,
don't think Holm is scared of anyone.
She's scared of nobody, huh?
Nope.
I love how all the boxers came out. Like you saw Tatiana Ali or whatever her name is come out and go, yeah, see, you can't mess with us.
It's funny, though, because she ended the fight with a kick. Like, you kick in boxing. It's like I said, obviously, footwork and her superior boxing did get her to expose Ronda, but she also showed she took Ronda down. She escaped an armbar and she managed to fight the clinch. That's not boxing. That's not kickboxing. That's mixed martial arts.
Absolutely.
Holly Holm is a mixed martial artist, and that's what won her the fight. She was better on the night, not just at boxing, but at everything.
Well, and plus, Ronda played her game. She went after her. She was the aggressor the whole time, and so she was, getting frustrated. She was mentally not able to accomplish what she was trying, which just, I think, really spun her out and got her in that defeat mindset. You saw the mindset go before she actually went. You could tell she was in this defeated mindset scenario, and she was just started making the kind of decisions that fighters make when they find themselves in that place where they come in, where they end up lunging and falling on their own face, and things that you wouldn't do with a girl like that. Like, you got to find a way to stop and make her at least meet you halfway.
I feel like it was kind of lack of coaching and cornering as well. In between rounds, her coach told her that she was doing well.
Right. I heard that. I was like,
great. No,
I don't know what you've been watching, bro.
You're losing. Stop chasing her around.
Yeah.
She's hitting you with the left hand every time you come in like an idiot with your hands down. So it was a combination, obviously. When you're in there, all I can hear when I'm in there is my coaches, and I'm waiting for them to give me instructions, because otherwise, you could make the wrong judgment call.
Even in that mode, like let's say it's in between rounds, you've been pounded a few times and a little bit shaken. Are you hearing and digesting what they're saying and taking it into?
Absolutely, yeah. It's what I like. There's a point in my last fight where I got taken down, and you can see me look over at my coach like, what do you want me to do? I know what to do, but he may have had, something better.
It's a second set of eyes on the same thing.
From the outside, hey, there's a hole in this,
and just to reassure me, yes, that is what you need to do. I definitely rely on my coaches a lot.
I do think that particular area is going to become a lot of scrutiny, because Ronda's own mom has come out so aggressively against her own coaching, and it hasn't really been played out big time in the news, but now in the face of a loss, and in a face of a loss where the coaches did some things that are certainly under scrutiny, will draw a lot of questions. It could undermine that whole relationship if it go, depending on how much the press really plays into it, because what were they doing? Why were they saying that? Why were they not giving her tangible advice on how to actually defeat her or change her game or get her back onto her game? Because she was playing Holly's game. She was buying right in.
Yeah.
And were they so arrogant that they think that she can just stand up box with Holly? Maybe they thought that. She is a great boxer. Okay, if you're that confident.
She's knocked people out before.
But you said that in your dealings with athletes and riders in particular, when you're on the start line with them, what do I have to do? Slap them around, tell them they're the greatest ever, and maybe the coaches have learned that they need to tell Ronda that she's the greatest ever.
I
and
think
if
that's
she was in a weakened mental state,
That's
a
great
insight.
insight.
We don't know.
That's a great insight. That's a very, very real possibility. Yeah.
I'm guessing.
I like it.
I don't know.
I'm just
I
taking
don't
guesses
know.
here. There's a lot of insight on that.
Now, what's your take on all the backlash? This thing online obviously is just exploding. memes everywhere, all these jokes and everything, and the backlash. I mean,
I think, like, to begin with, obviously you know that people are going to run with, you know, a few of those videos and things like that, but I think it's being taken too far. Especially, I'm just disgusted in seeing other fighters take part in it, because they could fight next month and get kicked in the head and get knocked out. It's like, why would you put that bad juju on yourself? Like, we should be supporting her. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, she's a bad sportsman and she does this and she does that.
Everybody hates you when you're on top.
Pretty much. There's nothing you can do. People are going to hate you regardless. Yeah. But I don't think it justifies the amount of trash she's getting.
I agree.
And especially for the women fighters, like, you wouldn't even have your job right now if it wasn't for Ronda.
What she's done is transformed the entire sport. But what not only would you not have your job, but you better be careful, because women's fighting is not as secure of a place as you might think it is. It is still in development phase. It is still a lot more fragile with as far as its, you know, staying power as you think. Make it not profitable to the UFC and watch what happens. Are they going to continue to fund it and make it
happen? Women's motocross.
Just because of it. We've seen it happen in women's motocross. We've seen it happen in lots of women's sports. And so what I say is, don't take it for granted, people. It's out there. Don't abuse it. Respect it. Support it, even in scenarios like this. Especially.
Be the ball. Oh, no.
Wait. Well, I was cruising your Instagram feed, and I saw that you posted a photo that said, "I'm with Rousey." Was that a risk for you to say, I stand with Ronda versus Holly, because your industry is so small?
No. Like, it's promoting the fight. People want to know who you're backing and who you're going for. I personally know Ronda. She's one of my friends that I've trained with and whatnot. So I'm always going to support someone that I've, you know, met and had dealings with. So yeah, it's not a risk. If it's like two friends that are fighting, I just won't post anything up.
Right.
And just know that I wish them a good fight. Yeah. But yeah, it's not bad to put, like, sometimes I'll put up my fight predictions and things like that, and it just creates more people talking about it, gets more eyeballs on the fight. So yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. I've found that being an announcer, sometimes it's difficult because, you know, we're supposed to be neutral. We're supposed to be telling the stories. But once you get to know the athletes, you can't help but there's some that become your favorites and your friends. And maybe in our industry it's a little bit more sensitive, where some of the other riders have said, oh, well, I saw that you posted about this guy, and why didn't you post about me? And it's like, stop being so sensitive. Stop.
Athletes are very sensitive.
But I guess everybody is. Everyone wants the recognition. Everyone wants to be backed. Everyone wants this support. So I get it. But I was just wondering if...
No, well, because I'm a fighter, I'm not one of the, like, it comes down to my opinion doesn't really matter to them. It shouldn't matter to them, to Holly. You know, she's a fighter. She's a champion. Why would my opinion matter? That's the way I look at it. If someone, like, if another fighter was to say, oh, I think such and such is going to win, I'll be like, yeah, and I don't give a shit what you think. But yeah, it's because I'm just another fighter. So yeah, I feel like obviously if it was one of the, like, the president, like Dana or someone like that posting up on with Rousey, then yeah, that's a little bit different.
Which he kind of does. But if you're Holly,
they play their favorites. Yes, that's for sure.
If you're Holly and you're worried about that, you would have never even made it into that ring. I mean, everyone on the planet was already convicting her as like, yeah, you're done. You're not gonna
it's
make
like
it,
Holly knows in her head that she's the best. That's all that matters.
That's
and her
what has
team
to matter.
and her family around her, and that's all that matters.
You know,
in
Dana,
my head, I'm the best, and that's all that matters to me.
Dana comes out and says, for all you who didn't think this was a great fight, this is why I set it up like this. A lot of you think you know, but you don't know what you're talking about. It kind of pissed me off a little bit again, but that's okay.
I
promoter.
I do really appreciate the way Holly has carried it, and I feel like what she's done in this scenario is not going to damage women's fighting. She's carrying it like a champion, and so I really respect that. I think it's going to, create this maybe vacuum where we get this super fight that everybody thinks is amazing, and will continue to elevate the sport.
Yeah, I think they've both done really great for the sport.
Yeah. So, but let's talk about you. Let's talk about when we come back from break, who's the dream fight for you?
And so chew on that for a minute.
Okay.
And enough about Ronda, enough about Holly. I want to talk to Bec
Rawlings.
Find out what's going on with her, not only the super fight, what's coming up next, all that kind of good stuff. When we come back, the Action Sports Show continues, powered by Toyota of Escondido. One moment.
One name you should know, the best place you can go, Toyota of Escondido.
It's official. Once again, the truck pros at Toyota of Escondido sold more new Toyota trucks than any other Toyota dealer. That means more smart buyers like you trusted Toyota of Escondido's Truck Center to find them the right truck for work or play.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
It makes sense to buy from the truck sales leader. Let Toyota of Escondido customize your new truck to fit your active lifestyle. Choose from lift kits, custom tires and wheels, and much more. Come experience a whole new way to buy your next truck.
Toyota of Escondido.
Toyota truck sales leader for San Diego County for 2014.
You're listening to Guy Talk, broadcasting live from the Sport Clips Haircuts locker room. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, boxers or briefs?
Speaking briefly, boxers. Unless you're a boxer, then I'd go briefs. Next caller.
I want to find my nearest Sport Clips, but I don't want to ask for directions.
It's not technically asking for directions if you use sportclips.com to find your nearest Sport Clips location, and no one will ever know. Let's take a break for a word from our sponsor, Sport Clips, where guys go to get an awesome haircut while watching sports on TV. Throw in our relaxing massaging shampoo and our legendary hot steam towel, and you've got our MVP haircut experience. Your head will be as majestic as a freshly mowed Major League outfield. Try it today. Last caller, you're on the air with Guy Talk.
So how cool is getting a haircut at Sport Clips?
Oh, it's like stepping up to the plate and slam dunking a touchdown. That's all the time we have today. This has been Guy Talk, brought to you by Sport Clips, where it's good to be a guy.
Hey, this is Jason Ellis. You might have heard of me, you might not have. I don't really care. And you're listening to the Action Sports Show. It's great. I always listen to it.
You're on, guys.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports. Jim Holtis, Dan McGranahan, Lorette Nickel. We're here live on set with Bec Rawlings. Now, you just heard there Jason Nelson, another Aussie. We've had a lot of Aussies coming in and out of here lately.
I was listening. I'm like, that sounds familiar.
Ellis, mate.
You've heard that guy, right?
Ellis, mate.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was actually on his radio show.
Yeah?
Last year. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he's funny.
Man, you just keep elevating.
Just keep climbing that ladder.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, dream fight for you.
Obviously, like I'm thinking about a dream. Like, do you mean like a super fight, or like what's my goal in this sport? Because
If you could fight anybody, who would it be?
Obviously, it would be JJ for the championship. Like, I'm not doing this.
What's her last name?
Jekajik.
What'd you call me?
Jujubachik. I can't pronounce the last name. I call her JJ.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, that's who I want to fight. I have to climb the ladder and beat a few people, a few top contenders to get my shot at her.
What's your plan to take a girl like that down? Just go in with crazy style?
I posted up the other day the blueprint to beat her, and I feel like Valerie kind of exposed her holes in her game. You need to come forward on her. She hates forward pressure. You need to move your head. There's pretty much, you need feints, which will open up a lot of opportunities for you because you can see how she can react and what she's looking for. But yeah, head movement is a big thing with that girl because she punches and she's so accurate. But if your head is not there to be punched, then you're not going to take as much damage and you're going to get in on her. So
Genius.
She's great.
Punch and not be punched. But you also have to be willing to get punched because it
will happen.
It's going to happen, especially with someone like her that's so good at striking. You're going to take a little bit of damage, but I definitely feel like, head movement, footwork, feints, and power coming forward, aggressiveness, pretty much everything that I have. So no.
It's going to be amazing.
And Valerie did a good job. She took it the
did.
distance, and tough girl.
Yeah, she's really big for the weight division. She actually moved down from 135, but yeah, she did really well. She was just she didn't move ahead at all.
I mean, Joanna won, I think, all the rounds, hands down. But
but Valerie did land on her a few times. Did take her down. It was kind of like, it was almost like she checked out mid-fight. She was there. She obviously wasn't going to bitch it and just fall to the ground and quit, but she kind of checked out mentally. She was just going through the movements and just kind of surviving almost. I don't know what would make her do that, if she got disheartened or I'm not sure, but yeah, it kind of looked like she checked out.
Is it difficult to keep your focus during a fight? And you just mentioned maybe she got disheartened. Mm-hmm. Have you ever experienced that in a fight?
No, because I feel like the more I get hit and the more that people get the better of me, the more fired up I get, the more I want to do better. But yeah, it's a mental thing. Fighting, a lot of people think it's physical. It's 80% mental. It's what powers. We can kill our bodies in the gym day in and day out, but if you don't have the mental side to really run it, then nothing's going to happen. Right. So I definitely feel like something mentally, for some reason, Valerie just wasn't kind of in there. Round 3, round 4.
So obviously your road to the top probably going to go through JJ somewhere up there. So fighting her, you're either up there or close to. How far would you say you're off from something like that fight-wise?
I think I could win 3 fights and get a shot at JJ. Definitely. It just really depends on who I fight and beat, really. So at this point, I'll fight anyone they give me. So, yeah, I just got to win probably 2 to 3 fights and hopefully get a shot at her.
So if you fight and win 2 and 3 fights, do you move up a class?
You move up rankings. You'll gain rankings. So depending on where your opponent's ranked, that it'll depend if you beat them and where you'll fall in the rankings.
Okay.
And how you beat them. I mean, I imagine, winning with authority goes a long way.
Yeah,
Fight of the night honors or something like that would be
you demand that shit. You don't just, go out there and try and win a decision on points. Like, I'm going out there to finish every opponent. I'm going out there to hurt my opponents, and they know that.
Yeah. I think we need to change her name from Rowdy to Road Rage.
I like that.
Funny you say that. We have a little road rage.
Do you have road rage?
I have the worst road rage.
Oh, and being out in California.
It's even worse because people can't drive here.
No,
How funny if you get road rage by this $130 Australian little pink lookalike, and she just beats the tar out of you, and for sure it's all over TMZ because they think Pink just beat someone up.
Yes,
oh, man.
That's funny because the other day I was sitting at the lights, and it was my fault. I was the moron that couldn't drive that day. I was, just out of it. And the car's gone to take off and then they stopped for some reason. And I've gone to take off and didn't realize that they were stopping and went up the butt of their car.
Oh, no.
What do you guys call it? Rear-ended.
Yeah.
Fender bender.
Fender bender.
Yeah.
And it was in Chula Vista,
no.
and they just pull over in the middle of the road and hop out of the car. And I'm like, what are you doing? Pull over. There's a car park right there. Get the hell off the road.
Right.
And she's hops back in a car, and we pull up into the car park. And I don't know what you guys do here. If there's a policy, if you call the police.
You arm wrestle immediately.
Yeah.
You just smash them and ask questions later.
It crossed my mind. And she hops out of the car, and she's an older lady, and she's Mexican and hardly speaks any English.
Oh, you were in Chula Vista.
Yeah, Chula Vista. Chula Yuana, or whatever they call it. So I'm like, I don't really know what you guys do here. Do you want my information? I'll get your information. And she's kind of like, I call police. And I'm like, no, you don't need to call the police. I don't think they're going to come for a little fender bender. And I called Dom, and I'm like, hey, Dom, I've run up the butt of a car. What do I do? And he's like, where are you? And I told him where I am. He's like, oh, I'm on my way. He was like 30 seconds away because it was on the way to the gym.
Oh, wow.
And he pulls in and he's like, so what's going on? And I'm like, told him what happened. And he's like, did you give her your information? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, did you get her information? I'm like, well, yeah. And he's like, well, go then. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then she's like, no, you don't go. I call police. And Dom's like, just go back, just go. And she tries to like get in front of me. And I'm like trying to find my happy place. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go. And I like try to get behind her. And then she like shoves me. And I'm like, don't freaking touch me like that. And Dom's like just slid in between us. And he's like trying to referee between us. And he's like stopping her from walking at me.
How crazy for some UFC fan that for sure was driving by and saw that and then was like, dude, I could have sworn I seen Dominic Cruz refereeing a girls' MMA match on the side of the road on the way here just now.
Isn't it funny? Because this lady had no idea who we were, and she's trying to pick a fight with me. And I ended up getting in the car
Worst
and leaving.
decision of her life.
And Dom's like, I'm glad you called me, hey.
So for me and everybody else listening, if you're ever in an accident, call Dominic Cruz. Don't call the police, call Dominic Cruz.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. Okay, so I'm from New Hampshire. I'm an East Coast girl, and I've been out in California for a while. What is it with you California drivers that when I put on my directional signal,
they speed up?
You guys speed up to pass me? What is that?
They don't want to let you in.
No, it's that you put on your directional signal and don't speed up. Speed up when you put on your directional
signal.
No,
that's such BS.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Do you know what I do? I don't put my signal on anymore.
You've just stopped.
Now you got it.
Because they don't let you in.
Well, you're driving on the wrong side of the road out here anyway.
Exactly.
So
I'm already challenged.
You're already,
So everything's backwards.
So, Beck, we got just a minute or so to go. If you tell the folks where they can follow you and see what's coming up for you next and your next fight is and all that kind of stuff.
Yep, my Instagram is @RowdyBec, and my Twitter is also @RowdyBec, and my Facebook is facebook.com/RowdyBec. So it's all pretty easy.
Rowdy Beck.
Road Rage Beck.
Or Road Rage Beck. Yeah, and if you could get onto the UFC, if you have Twitter, hit up Sean Shelby or Dana White and let them know that you want to see me fight in March on the Brisbane Australia card.
We do.
Oh, you want the hometown.
I want to fight in Brisbane.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I want to fight in the hometown. So, hit them up and let them know you want to see me bash someone.
Nice.
Well, thanks so much for coming out and talking to us.
Thank
I hope
you.
you'll come back next time you're in town.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just been great having you on and seeing your insights. And best of luck to you. And, hey, we're going to lead the charge and make Dana put her on the card. So
yeah, we're going to make Dana.
Yeah.
Those two words don't go together.
Oh, yeah? We'll see. That guy pissed me off.
No, you don't make Dana do anything.
We're going to beg Dana.
So
that works.
Big thanks to Beck and Bryce, everybody who's been on the show tonight, and all you folks for listening. Don't forget to check us out every Tuesday here, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. You can go to actionsportshow.com for more information. Follow the social media @TE Action Sports. That's @TE Action Sports, and download the podcast so you can check it out time after time after time after time. And like
time
we always
after
say,
time. Isn't that a song?
Yeah, Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, you're going to be Cyndi Lauper.
You're welcome.
So, hey, but it's been a great show, and hey, hope from all of us here at the Action Sports Show. Hope you all have a great week. Remember, don't text and drive. Just don't do it. It's a bad idea, especially if you're a California driver because you don't know what the hell you're doing anyways.
Because you're a bad driver.
From all of us here at the Action Sports Show, we'll see you next Tuesday right here, same time, same place. Have a good one.